you, Jorge, and happy to hear your introduction.
Thank you so much, Virginia. Thank you, all of you, having us today for probably the last webinar session that we are going to have this year regarding the low carbon business action in Mexico. Today's session is regarding to green mobility and hydrogen. So it is a very interesting topic which has taken the conversation among energy transition discussions. And well, we really want to offer some technologies that it could be interesting for you. But first of all, we have to discuss about what is green hydrogen. And for that purpose, we are going to have a key speaker who is the expert on this kind of topic. So this session is going to be managed by, well, in English, just because we have some invites from the UE. So this session is going to be in English. So, okay, let's get started with the session. And well, today's agenda is the sector insights. We have the presence of Tatiana Romero, who is an expert on green hydrogen. And then we are going to present a couple of EU companies which have been working on green hydrogen mobility. Their perspective and experience are going to be very interesting for this topic. And well, we are honored to have the ambassador of the European Union in Mexico, Mr. Ambassador Gautier Mignot, who is going to present the Seal Award ceremony for Napter and Linde Praxair. So at the end, we are going to have the closing remarks, and just remember that we have 1 hour, so we are going to be a little bit faster. So, okay, just as remember, what is the LCBA? LCBA is an initiative promoted by the European Union community, which aims to promote technologies related to the green transition, circular economy. And currently the program works in 3 regions in Americas, which is Canada, LATAM, englobing Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Argentina, and of course, Mexico. And in that way, the value proposition of this program is to promote the businesses between 2 areas, 2 regions, which are the European Union and Mexico, just to get a positive impact on environmental issues that currently are challenging the companies here in Mexico. So in that regard, this program aims to promote international trade agreements between both sides of these regions and well, support the green transition thanks to the program, because we offer technical assistance in all the initiatives that we have. The benefits and services of EU and Mexican companies are the market intelligence, B2B matchmaking lead generation, which is an activity that we work almost all today with all the EU and Mexican companies, virtual events like this, business support network, and tailored technical assistance. So if you have a project, if you have an initiative, if you want to access to the cutting edge technology regarding environmental and green energy transition, we have a lot of options, a lot of technologies which are available for your projects. Well, technical assistance in this part, I would like to let Virginia to give us some words about the technical assistance and what is the LCBA seal.
Thank you, Jorge, and thank you again for everyone joining the session today. We are as the full LCBA Mexico team here today. So Jorge, myself, Mateo, Marcela, Rodrigo, Valeria, several other people that are more in the back end of this event. So we're all working really hard to make this initiative a success. And we are very excited events like these today to see so many participants from the EU, from Mexico, that are willing to go this journey together with us, green transition journey really for Mexico, for the EU. And what I would like to present here briefly is that one of the key services that we as an initiative can offer to companies in the EU and in Mexico is technical assistance, which basically consists in coaching services provided by experts for potential partnerships between an EU and a Mexican company. Meaning that if you met a potential partner in the EU or in Mexico, you are interested in potentially implementing a clean tech solution, then we as a program can put to your sides experts on different topics to help you accelerate the negotiation and the commercialization. It can be assistance such as legal advice, it can be feasibility studies, it can be assistance on finding project finance for your project. And so it's a really, really interesting, let's say, benefit that we can offer to companies. It can be up to 25 days of assistance. And we really encourage you to let us know or flag if you have a potential partnership and you are interested in receiving these services, then please reach out to us and we can guide you in the application process. Most importantly, this service is completely EU funded, so it's at no cost for your companies. And we really have seen very great results so far by over 40 partnerships that benefited from these services in the past. And many of those have closed commercial agreements, including a couple that we will be awarding with the LCBA seal today. What is the LCBA seal? It's an insignia, an award that we assign to partnerships that formed throughout the initiative, that received our support, and it really indicates the strong commitment of both the Mexican and the EU company towards a sustainable transition. And so if you sign a partnership, this is also something that you can use to promote on your company website, in your social media. It's an additional emblem backed by the European Commission to prove your sustainability efforts in your company. So both of these services are really key to our initiative, and we encourage you to express your interest if you see any of those that are relevant for your situation, and we would be more than happy to assist you with this in the coming months. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Virginia. I'm going to switch a little bit in Spanish. Para todas las empresas mexicanas, la asistencia técnica es uno de los valores que da este programa. Los invitamos a que entren a alguno de los paquetes que nosotros estamos ofreciendo. And I'm going to switch to English. This technical assistance works for European Union companies as well Mexican companies. So thank you so much, Virginia. And now the achievements at a glance. Well, we have nowadays more than 1,000 members registered in the platform, or almost 700 meetings conducted via LCBA platform, 29 virtual events, 41 joint business concepts, and 26 partnerships supported by technical assistance provided, which is the topic that Virginia getting deep. So please join us. Please let us work with you with your projects. And now we have the sector insights. We have today the participation of one expert on hydrogen, which is Tatiana Romero. Tatiana Romero has an extensive experience on the academic field regarding hydrogen. She has a PhD from the University of British Columbia in Canada in ion exchange membrane fuel cells. She graduated with honorable mention from the Master in Solar Energy at the Energy Research Center in the UNAM, and she obtained a degree on chemical engineering from the University of Puebla. Doctora Romero joined the National Institute of Electricity and Clean Energy, INEL, in 2000, where she continued her work in hydrogen and fuel cells laboratory. She has been a pioneer in the manufacture of membrane electrode assemblies for fuel cells. So her career is quite extensive, And I don't want to take more time. Please welcome to Tatiana Romero. Tatiana, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jorge, and good morning and good afternoon for those in Europe. I appreciate this invitation and I feel honored to be able to talk about what we have been doing in Mexico, in particular in the National Institute of Electricity and Clean Energy, where I have been working on these hydrogen topics, very exciting from, as you said, 2000. Well, just to give us a brief introduction on green hydrogen, I'm going to complete some other topics on costs regarding hydrogen, the value chain of green hydrogen for Mexico, and some other opportunities that could be of interest for the audience. So, well, trying to give a very, very brief introduction to green hydrogen, I think it's very important to consider that hydrogen is an energy vector that can give us a very good opportunity to go to this decarbonization that is a matter of interest in the whole globe, thinking on the emission reduction and having the goals of net zero emissions for 2050. As you can see in the graph on your right, the metrics considered for this decarbonization now includes hydrogen, and we can hear hydrogen and green hydrogen, most importantly, everywhere. Why green hydrogen? Because this is a possibility to generate hydrogen without no emissions to the atmosphere coming from renewable energies. So, what can I say from the transition in Mexico towards sustainability? If we go to the official documents from the government, we can find out that there's also the interest and the participation of hydrogen in the energy matrix. The graphs on this slide can show us how green hydrogen now becomes important in the next decade, thinking on how blending hydrogen with natural gas could go up to 30% in the use for combined cycle plants. This is very interesting because for Mexico, renewables and in general clean energies are going in a slow pace, but hydrogen now takes part of this interesting transition. So going into cost, the evolution of hydrogen, we can see it in the graph, how the green hydrogen goes in a reduction trend. And this is because of all the different benefits that we are looking at, carbon taxes, and how renewable energy is getting cheaper every time, and how the economy of scale of the technologies for generating hydrogen and renewable energy themselves can have a reduction on prices and also increasing the efficiency in the time. So this will allow us to have a reduction in the cost of hydrogen. If we look at the numbers in the world, well, there's a tendency to have a reduction on the hydrogen production cost between $1 to $2 per kilogram, which is very interesting because right now the cost of hydrogen production is way beyond 6 to 7 or even above $7 per kilogram. So in Mexico, what we have seen in the Institute, doing all the predictions with the numbers that we have in the cost of renewable electricity currently, the numbers show us that the production of hydrogen could be below $2 per kilogram or even below $1.8 per kilogram in the region of the Istmo, where the winds and solar resources are very strong. So this could happen by 2040 if things keep going in the same trend. So when considering this, we have been looking at different areas in the country where wind and PV solar resources can be harnessed to produce hydrogen. And we have been doing a lot of efforts to find the best conditions or the best places where hydrogen could reach these values that I mentioned before. And this graph gives us that idea of how, in different conditions, the levelized cost of hydrogen that considers the capex and also the opex of different plants with renewable, either wind or solar, then it will give us values in the range that I mentioned before. In this case, for Mexico, the opportunity to produce large-scale hydrogen for different industries is very high, and the interest, as we have seen in the news, is increasing constantly as different sectors of the industry will get the production of green hydrogen in their sites. Well, when we look at the value chain of green hydrogen in Mexico, we can find that looking at the scenario for 2035, when the incorporation of different applications of green hydrogen can get into the industry, either for electricity, for all the oil industry, cement, mining, chemical, and also transportation, could give us a very good opportunity for different segments of the value chain. We can think of the resources that we need. As we know, renewable and water are the main inputs for the production of hydrogen, but also the electrolyzers, the systems that produce hydrogen with the renewables in a very clean way. So producing very clean and fast and very localized production of hydrogen on the sites where we need it, but also storage and transport and distribution. If we consider these different segments of the change, then for Mexico in the 2035, we could have a value of $7 billion for the capex that we are going to have for different aspects, as I mentioned. We can see in the graph on your right how the demand of hydrogen is increasing every 5 years, reaching values of 254 kilotons of hydrogen per year, going up to 7,000. So it's very interesting how this will be an important market for different sectors. Well, and in opportunities for Mexico, I could have lots, but just condensing the most important that I know from first hand, because at the Institute we are developing technology for different segments of that change, where we look at the manufacture of different components for the fuel cells and electrolyzers that are the main technologies that are required to take advantage of this hydrogen or this green hydrogen technology. Then electromobility and different applications from power to gas, where hydrogen can be the carrier for that energy, and in either energy or chemical input for different applications. So Mexico has the potential to manufacture. We have all the infrastructure industrially and know-how wise for producing our own technology. And I think this is one of our highest strengths in Mexico to be considered. Well, and just to finalize with this example of how an application of hydrogen in isolated communities can give us an opportunity to improve the quality of life of those cities that are requiring energy along the year. We can use green hydrogen, well, produce it and use it during the months of the year where there's an excess of energy, and also use that hydrogen that can be stored along the year, interseasonal, which is very important and one of the biggest and interesting advantages of hydrogen, and that allow us to store energy for long time. The consumption then of hydrogen in the months of larger demand will give us the opportunity to reduce emissions and reduce the diesel consumption. Well, I think from my side, that's all I have, and thank you for your time and attention.
10 minutes exactly, Tatiana, and it was a challenge because you had a lot of things to say, but well, it's really clear that hydrogen is a reality here in Mexico, and we could promote this industry more in electromobility. So thank you so much, Tatiana, for having you here. And I think we have some questions, but we have to answer offline, I think so, but well, thank you so much, Tatiana.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you,
Virginia,
Tatiana.
I let you the floor.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So thank you again, Tatiana. It was a very interesting session to, I think, introduce this event and some of the pitches we are going to hear from the companies, which are very much aligned with what you just presented. So here you have Tatiana's contact. You can also reach out to us if you have any questions. Tatiana, feel free to also jump in the chat. There may be a couple of questions there. And then we are really happy to facilitate any follow-up meetings that you might request or any questions you may have. Thank you. Now, we will move to our next session in this event, which is a short pitch session where we will have two of our EU SMEs currently with the LCBAM Mexico active in the green mobility and hydrogen space present to us. So how the session will work is that we have two companies, Avia Ingeniería from Spain and PEM Motion from Germany, with Fernando and Vanessa as the speakers, that will be pitching their company during 5 minutes. And then we'll have around 3 to 5 minutes Q&A for each of the companies. So you can write your questions in the chat, you can raise your hand, and we will also launch a little poll after their presentation if you're interested to follow up with the company. So without further ado, I would say that I will pass the floor to our first pitcher of the day, which is Fernando Moreno from Avia Ingeniería. Fernando, it is a pleasure to have you here with us today. I'm passing you the presenter role, and the floor is yours whenever you're ready. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Virginia. As I've been told, but it would be maybe more appropriate, I will switch to Spanish if it is fine for everybody. Perfect. Pues muy buenos días, muy buenas tardes. Muchas gracias por atender esta presentación. Me llamo Fernando Moreno, soy responsable de desarrollo de negocios y de innovación en Avia Ingeniería. Avia Ingeniería es una empresa española ubicada en Madrid, con 30 años de experiencia en su sector. Básicamente somos una empresa que proporciona servicios de ingeniería y que está especializada en el diseño, el desarrollo y la fabricación de vehículos industriales y de vehículos especiales con cadenas de tracción alternativas. Somos una empresa que proporciona soluciones llave en mano, bien de unidades individuales o de pequeñas flotas de vehículos con sistemas de propulsión alternativos. También cabe destacar que podemos trabajar tanto con vehículos completamente nuevos o con vehículos retrofitados, con vehículos de segunda mano como vehículo de base antes de realizar una transformación. ¿Cuáles son nuestros clientes más habituales? Pues en los mercados en los que desarrollamos actividades a día de hoy, nuestros principales clientes son empresas que disponen de un gran número de vehículos que habitualmente llamamos flotistas, y también son empresas que realizan servicios municipales como por ejemplo servicios de recogida de residuos. Bueno, ¿qué soluciones, qué servicios proponemos al mercado? Nos entendemos como un integrador de sistema que lleva a cabo proyectos llave en mano, como lo hemos dicho, y en el caso del desarrollo de un vehículo, básicamente realizamos todas las tareas que son necesarias para realizar un vehículo completamente listo para estar puesto a trabajar una vez entregado al cliente. Empezamos, por tanto, con estudios de viabilidad, terminamos las actividades con la homologación de los vehículos. También abarcamos, como cualquier fabricante, servicios de postventa y de asistencia técnica, y entre medias pues realizamos actividades más ingenieriles como la integración eléctrica, mecánica, térmica, de control también de los distintos componentes de la cadena de tracción alternativa que montamos. ¿Qué problema resolvemos? Básicamente resolvemos el problema de ayudar a empresas a hacer transicionar sus vehículos, su flota de vehículos, a una tecnología que emite menos emisiones de gases invernadero. Hemos hablado bastante de vehículos terrestres. Yo diría que es a día de hoy la mayor parte de la actividad que desarrolla Avia Ingeniería. Cualquier tipo de vehículo industrial, que éste sea de aplicación en carretera o off-road, pero también, como lo he comentado antes, desarrollamos actividades para vehículos especiales e incluso para aplicaciones ferroviarias. También cabe destacar que tenemos experiencia en el mundo marino con un vehículo 100%, con una embarcación 100% eléctrica de operación portuarias. Para terminar esta presentación, nos gusta mostrar esta imagen en la que vemos varios proyectos ya llevados a cabo por parte de Avia Ingeniería, y estas imágenes las hemos elegido porque vemos que con nuestras capacidades, con nuestra experiencia, podemos abarcar vehículos muy distintos en cuanto, por ejemplo, a tonelaje, y también tecnologías de cadena de tracción muy variadas, desde vehículos 100% eléctricos, vehículos híbridos y también vehículos de pila de combustible de hidrógeno. También cabe destacar que Avia Ingeniería es una empresa que ya ha llevado a cabo un proceso de internacionalización, y a día de hoy podemos decir que realizamos proyectos en varios países del mundo, no solamente en España o en Europa, y últimamente hemos realizado un proyecto en Colombia en el que estamos ayudando a una empresa de transporte público a realizar sus primeras unidades de vehículos 100% eléctricos y de vehículos 100% eléctricos con pila de combustible de hidrógeno. Les agradezco mucho su atención y quedo a su disposición para contestar sus preguntas.
Muchas gracias, Fernando. Thank you very much for this presentation. I think it was very complete and gave a good idea of what Avia can achieve in the Mexican market. We do have a couple of questions that are coming through in the chat. I will also launch a little poll on the site to know if anyone is interested in a follow-up meeting. You have 2 minutes to answer the little poll, and then we can facilitate a follow-up conversation with Fernando. I see one question in the chat that says, ¿su solución funciona para vehículos de pasajeros? Me refiero a carros de 4 plazas.
Sí, la las capacidades que tenemos se pueden aplicar a vehículos más pequeños. Sin embargo, es así que a día de hoy la mayor parte de nuestras referencias y la mayor parte de nuestra experiencia está en vehículos con un tonelaje superior a 3,5 toneladas.
Perfecto, gracias. Then we have another question here saying, what is the price range of your company's services? I guess this depends a lot on which services we're talking about.
Y, si consideramos el proyecto más típico, que es el desarrollo de una solución de una cadena de tracción eléctrica o de pila de combustible de hidrógeno sobre un vehículo industrial, la duración aproximada hasta la entrega de la primera unidad es aproximadamente de 12 meses. El coste, pues el coste depende, como siempre, de varios factores. Un vehículo 100% eléctrico será más económico que un vehículo eléctrico basado además en pila de combustible de hidrógeno. Si hablamos, por ejemplo, de un vehículo de gran tamaño, como puede ser una cabeza tractora, un vehículo de 40 toneladas para transporte de mercancía, el desarrollo de una primera unidad completamente nueva basado en una pila de combustible puede estar en 700.000 euros.
Perfecto, y puede ser una última pregunta y después vamos a pasar al próximo pitch. ¿Cuál es la media de tiempo de retrofit para un bus? Por ejemplo, una retroexcavadora de obra. No estoy segura del... del nombre.
Si hablamos del tiempo que se necesita para transformar un vehículo, que es la operación en taller, una vez que el proyecto de ingeniería está completado, habitualmente no excede un periodo de 2 meses. Lo que es la transformación en sí del vehículo una vez que el proyecto de ingeniería está realizado, insisto.
Perfecto. Muchas gracias, Fernando. There are some additional questions in the chat, so I encourage you to jump into the chat after your session and try to respond to people. Thank you very much again for the presentation. We are collecting the chats, we are collecting the polls, so we are sure there will be quite some follow-up to this presentation of today. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, and with this, we will pass on to our next picture of the day, that is FemMotion, and we have Vanessa Rueda with us today to present the company. Vanessa, I just made you presenter. It's a pleasure to have you with us today, and the floor is yours whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much. Well, so I'm going to switch to English. Primero que todo, muchas gracias por este espacio. Yo soy Vanessa Rueda, actualmente soy líder del equipo de Ingeniería y de Desarrollo para FemMotion acá en México. Y a continuación voy a presentarles nuestra oferta en el diseño, desarrollo y producción de baterías de litio. Uno de los desafíos más importantes que tienen esta tecnología es la integración de las especificaciones y de las limitaciones de seguridad que tienen las celdas de litio que actualmente están disponibles en el mercado y hacer esa integración de estas especificaciones con los requerimientos de las diferentes aplicaciones. Requerimientos que van desde limitaciones de espacio, limitaciones de peso, integración en diferentes plataformas. Y debido a esto, pues nosotros ofrecemos diseños únicos. Ofrecemos diseño de baterías que están completamente personalizadas y específicas para cada aplicación. Voy a comenzar explicando un poco de quién es FemMotion. FemMotion es una empresa alemana que ofrece servicios de consultoría e ingeniería con un poco más de 10 años de experiencia en el sector de electromovilidad y quienes se han enfocado principalmente en baterías y motores eléctricos. Actualmente, FemMotion tiene tienen 5 ubicaciones alrededor del mundo, 2 de las cuales se encuentran en México, en San Luis Potosí y en Ciudad de México. Siguiente slide, por favor. ¿Qué hacemos nosotros en México? ¿O por qué hacemos las baterías nosotros en México? La razón principal es la ubicación geográfica, que nos permite tener o ser una muy buena alternativa en la cadena de suministros para Norteamérica en general. Adicionalmente, México cuenta ya con una infraestructura importante en manufactura, con lo que también nos permite tener precios competitivos y contamos pues con todo el talento. Es por eso que PEM decide traer el desarrollo y la producción de baterías a México. Nuestro objetivo aquí es acompañar a nuestros clientes desde la concepción de una idea hasta la producción en serie de sus productos, pasando por todo el proceso de desarrollo que incluye el diseño de sus productos, la ingeniería, prototipado, testeo y validación de los productos, así como también procesos de certificación en caso de ser necesarios y finalmente acompañarlos en la producción y puesta en marcha pues, de sus productos. Siguiente, gracias. Estos son algunos de los productos que nosotros ofrecemos. Con las capacidades que tenemos de desarrollo de hardware y de software, estamos en la capacidad y hemos desarrollado toda la electrónica que conlleva una batería, particularmente el desarrollo del Battery Management System, que es el corazón de la batería. También hemos hecho la integración de baterías en diferentes formatos y diferentes tamaños. Tenemos baterías muy pequeñas como las que se ven a la izquierda, las que llamamos Small Format Batteries con potencias bajas, así como también baterías un poco más grandes para motos eléctricas, bicicletas eléctricas, scooters o otras aplicaciones. Tenemos también sistemas de alto voltaje o integración de sistemas de alto voltaje con productos como un Power Delivery Unit y en general desarrollo de sistemas de electrónica y tenemos acá sistemas modulares, por ejemplo, para integrar IoT dentro de nuestros sistemas o para integrar cualquier tipo de comunicación y hacer bastante flexible nuestras soluciones. Siguiente. Particularmente con las baterías de bajo voltaje, nosotros tenemos, o como les comenté anteriormente, ofrecemos la customización completa de las baterías. A la derecha pueden ver algunos de los parámetros que podemos customizar. Esto nos permite pues, entregar sistemas para diferentes aplicaciones y para diferentes sectores, como los sectores de movilidad, sectores industriales o comerciales. La customización se hace tanto en la electrónica como en la parte mecánica. Somos muy flexibles en el factor de forma de nuestros sistemas y estas son algunas de las certificaciones con las que trabajamos actualmente. Y por último, estas son algunas de las historias de éxito de algunos que hemos tenido con algunos de nuestros clientes. En el sector de Light Electric Vehicles hemos desarrollado una batería para una motocicleta eléctrica totalmente diseñada y producida en México. Actualmente estamos realizando una producción en serie pequeña para ellos. Otra de las líneas que estamos trabajando bastante en México es el intercambio de baterías de ácido plomo por baterías de litio. La razón principal acá pues, es las ventajas que tienen las baterías de litio respecto a su vida útil y eficiencia. Y esto lo hemos utilizado en sistemas de almacenamiento de energía, como por ejemplo UPS. Uno de los ejemplos de los clientes que tenemos ahorita, por ejemplo, es la batería de backup de lámparas quirúrgicas, que hicimos la conversión de ácido plomo a litio. Pero pues aquí la verdad las aplicaciones son mucho más grandes. Tenemos también baterías que se utilizan en dispositivos de consumo, en dispositivos de IoT y podemos ofrecer soluciones para robótica, aplicaciones de potencia crítica, en fin, cualquier sistema pues, que necesite alguna autonomía en energía. Y bueno, creo que eso sería todo. Si ustedes tienen algún producto o si tienen alguna idea de producto que quieren desarrollar con baterías, los invitamos para que nos contacten, ya sea a mí o a mi compañero Bastian, quien está también acá en línea. Entonces, muchísimas gracias.
Perfecto, muchísimas gracias, Vanessa. Tenemos algunas preguntas en el chat. Estamos un poco sobre el tiempo destinado de 5 minutos, pero puede ser una pregunta, por ejemplo, es cerca de la motocicleta y preguntan cuál es el costo y cuántos kilómetros puede recorrer.
Nosotros en este caso solo desarrollamos la batería. La batería es una batería de 2 kilovatios hora y el costo, la verdad, varía bastante dependiendo de cuántas unidades o del volumen de la producción, pero puede ir entre $1,000 y $1,500 aproximadamente. Y el rango pues ya viene dependiendo de la integración completo de la batería, en el caso del sistema de la moto completa. En el caso, esta moto creo que son unas 40 millas que alcanza.
Perfecto. Y también hay una pregunta sobre respecto a las baterías. ¿Ustedes pueden diseñar baterías para montacargas patines eléctricos?
Sí, sí, claro que sí. Realmente el diseño lo hacemos haciendo target a la aplicación y como les mencioné, tenemos aplicaciones desde electromovilidad hasta aplicaciones médicas con las lámparas quirúrgicas, por lo que con gusto contáctanos y podemos ayudarles en esas aplicaciones también.
Perfecto. Muchas gracias otra vez, Vanessa. Hay otras preguntas en el chat, entonces te invito a conectarte al chat después de ese pitch para responder un poco a las personas de la audiencia. Y con eso vamos a pasar a la próxima sesión de ese evento que Jorge va a presentarnos. Muchas gracias, Vanessa, y ponéis las preguntas en el chat. Put your questions in the chat and we'll be happy to answer them throughout the rest of the event. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you, Virginia. And now we are this part of the program. We are going to have the ceremony of the LCBA Seal Award. So for that purposes, today we are honored to have with us the European Union Ambassador in Mexico, Mr. Gautier Mignot. His presence here today demonstrates the importance of the LCBA program, and we really want to look forward to hearing his insights. So thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for having you here, and the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Jorge. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to join you today for this thematic event on green mobility and hydrogen. And first, I would like to thank the LCBA Mexico team for the organization of the event, and also to thank the LCBA, to thank our sector experts, and 2 European companies who pitched their solutions. Because, of course, your innovative green technologies are the driver of the work we are doing with this initiative. And finally, of course, thanks to our audience, as we can only achieve the objectives of this action if Mexican companies are interested and willing to implement EU technologies. And I would like to stress very much the importance and the impact of this low carbon and circular economy business action. As many of you know, the LCBA Mexico is an EU-funded initiative that aims to facilitate the commercialization of innovative clean tech solutions of European small and medium-sized companies in Mexico. But the action is also being implemented in Canada and also in Argentina, in Brazil, in Chile, and in Colombia. And our aim is to reduce carbon emissions, promote the principles of the EU Green Deal, and support the implementation of the Paris Agreement on climate change. And to achieve this, we offer a range of tailored support services and tools to EU SMEs and Mexican barriers in sectors with high sustainable impact. Our services include market intelligence, also matchmaking facilitation, virtual events, and expert technical assistance to high potential EU-Mexico partnerships. And since the start of this initiative in September 2020, we have achieved very good results. Today, we have over 1,000 members registered to the LCBA Mexico community platform. Over 660 online meetings have been conducted, and we have organized 30 virtual and 1 in-person matchmaking events. And as a result, we have already 41 joint business concepts between EU and Mexican companies that have been signed and supported by the program. But we are confident, we are convinced that we can do more than that. The initiative is ending in March 2024. So this is a little bit the last chance now, the last call to benefit from our services. And so I call to all these who haven't done so yet to register to a platform today, to reach out to the team so that we drive the green transition together. For this session, I'm also honored to introduce the LCBA seal, which is an insignia awarded to legally binding partnerships that form via the initiative. And this seal certifies that the project has fulfilled all the sustainability conditions assessed throughout the program, such as its positive environmental impact. This LCBA seal is a way of recognizing the efforts and the steps taken by companies towards a more sustainable future based on continuous improvement and shared responsibility between companies. And today I am pleased to award the LCBA seal to 2 very special partnerships that we have supported over the past month. With us today are first Julian Moltz from the German company Enapter, and second Julian Marquez from the Spanish company H2B2. Enapter signed an agreement with the Mexican company Linde Praxe for the purchase of electrolyzers and equipment for on-site hydrogen production. This is a project that will help reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 98% compared to fossil fuel use. So Julian, congratulations on this achievement, and I am very pleased to present your official LCBA seal certificate, which I think will be on display shortly. And then to our second company, H2B2, they signed a joint venture agreement with the Mexican company HVMX, creating H2V2 Mexico. That's the name of the joint venture, which aims to develop green hydrogen production projects, including an electrolyzer manufacturing facility in Mexico. And the project is expected to avoid the generation of 1 ton of CO2 per year and foster renewable energy generation. So Julian, congratulations also on this achievement, and I am pleased to present your official LCBA seal certificate too. So with this, I pass the floor to the 2 companies so that they tell us a little bit more about their project and their journey with the LCBA. Thanks to all of you, and a lot of success for the future.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ambassador, for this great introduction. We did display both the certificates that we will hand over to the partnerships after the session. And now we will pass the floor to our 2 companies to quickly pitch their company as well and their journey with the LCBA. And we will be starting with Enapter. We actually don't have Julian with us today, but Tim, who joined us from Enapter. So Tim, it is a pleasure to have you here with us. I will pass the floor to you, and we would be happy to hear a bit more about your partnership and the achievements through the LCBA Mexico. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you, Ambassador. Like, my colleague Julian couldn't make it today, so it's on me to pitch My name is Tim Chalibois. I'm also based out of Germany. I'm sitting in Berlin. Berlin is in the south of Germany, and I'm the head of strategy at Enapter at the moment. And I just wanted to use the next 5 minutes to present to you our journey, the journey that we had together with Linde. And I don't know if my colleague from Linde is also already a presenter, but Raul, he's here as well. So
Here, Tim.
okay, perfect. So he will take over. Yo puedo hablar en español, pero voy a presentar en inglés. Pero después podemos discutir en español si quieren. So Enapter is a company that exists under this name actually since 2017, but we have a track record of over 10 years of research and development. Actually, Enapter used to be called ACTA. Our founder, Sebastian Schmidt, who's a German who has founded a lot of successful enterprises in the software space, bought ACTA in 2017 and renamed it as Enapter and regrouped it as Enapter. So we are based in Italy and Germany, and we manufacture AEM electrolyzers. So if you have to remember 2 things about Enapter, then it's AEM, which is a technology, and I'll explain it shortly, and then our modular product design. And since I was told not to be too technical, I will just tell you this. On the top right, our electrolyzer looks a bit like a microwave. Boris Johnson called it a microwave at one of the environmental conferences, and we use that now because it is actually the same size and a bit heavier, but the same dimensions. And what we want to achieve with these electrolyzers is that we have a small device that can start producing hydrogen now in pilot and demonstration project, such as the one that we have with Linde. And then due to our modular project design, you can scale up with us. And in the bottom right, you can see our new factory in Germany. Really big. We used the same contractor as Tesla had in Germany, and we built this within 1 year. So we're really ready for the scale up and mass production. So our vision is also really simple. We want to live in a world where fossil fuels are no longer used. And we want to achieve this by making green hydrogen as cheap as possible. So what is actually the AEM electrolyzer? So in this picture, and that is a bit technical, you see an electrolyzer. And I think the only thing that you have to remember, on the right, you see the cathode, and it says gas diffusion layer. So this gas diffusion layer means that there's no liquid. It's the so-called dry cathode. And in all the other electrolyzer technologies, there's liquids usually. And if there's a liquid that's highly acidic or has a high percentage of KOH, then you need a lot of platinum group materials to make the reaction work and to make the electrolyzer last, because it's a very hostile environment. Since we have a dry cathode, we don't need any of these precious metals. We don't rely on platinum or titanium, and we don't need iridium, which is a very scarce resource. So that is why AEM is usually seen as the electrolyzer technology of the future. And if you look at the analysis of the European Commission, for example, the Joint Hydrogen Undertaking, you can see that if you track the KPIs of different technologies for electrolysis, AEM is usually said to be the cheapest by 2030. And we already see that we're below PEM electrolyzers in our pricing right now, and aim to be on par with alkaline by the end of the decade. And quickly, just a look at our product portfolio. I said that we have a very modular approach to our products. So we have developed a product platform that relies on a single stack, which you can see on the left. This stack you can either put in the single core electrolyzer. This is the microwave that I spoke about, that we've delivered over 5,000, like 5,000 ordered and 3,500 delivered to customers around the world. And then you can stack these into systems, cabinets, and clusters. So this is the upper part of this diagram of our portfolio that brings you to systems up to 100, 150 kilowatts. But what you can also do with this stack is you put it in the stack module, and then you arrange it. You arrange it either in smaller industrial applications like the AEM Flex 120. This is our latest product. It produces up to 50 kilograms of hydrogen a day, or our AEM Multicore, and that's a containerized solution which has the capacity of 1 megawatt. So this actually allows us to scale up very quickly because it's a standardized product design that's at the core of this, easily replicable, and it allows to achieve economies of scale. So that is the idea behind the NAPTA. We're doing it a bit differently than our competitors from the electrolysis space because we start small and then scale up together. And we've done that in over 50 countries with 350 customers. And one of them is our good friend from Mexico, Raul, with Linde. And I don't know, Raul, if you want to speak briefly about this partnership, or how should we do it?
Yes, thank you, Tim.
Awesome.
Just going to take a short time to explain this venture. It's very important for us. Linde has some other joint ventures with another OEM manufacturers for electrolysis equipment. We think that this product that NAPTA offer is really very prepared for market here in Latin America because we can do this scalable according to the growth that the customers can have in their projects. So with this, we can reduce the amount of capex to invest in these projects, these projects, and reduce the levelized cost of hydrogen for a region. So thank you very much, team, for all the support. Thanks to LCBA for this opportunity. I'm really glad with this partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, Linde ordered in total 4 electrolyzers with the equipment that we develop in-house. We have a water tank to make the water treatment as easy as possible, a dryer to increase the purity, and also a project team in-house that we built recently to consult and advise our clients. And I would also like to say thank you to the LCBA for bringing us together and making it easier to facilitate the matchmaking process and also negotiate the contracts under this umbrella that really helped us to bring the project closer to the implementation phase. So thank you for that.
Thank you, team. Thank you, Raul. Really nice to hear that. Mr. Ambassador, we think you have a very tight agenda. I don't know if you could keep us in the presentation of H2B2. Yes? Okay, great. Okay, so thank you so much, Tim and Raul. And well, there is the contact to contact them for more information. And of course, we are here to hear you from your comments and questions. Thank you both. And well, we pass the floor to H2B2. So we have Julian Marquez. Please welcome, and the floor is yours.
Buenos días, señor embajador. Buenos días a todos los panelistas. Agradecemos ampliamente a LCBAM México la oportunidad y el honor de estar en este panel. Vamos a iniciar con el tema que es movilidad verde e hidrógeno, haciendo una pequeña presentación de lo que es la joint venture que estamos en este momento manejando aquí en México. Es una empresa creada por H2B2 Electrolysis Technologies como socio tecnólogo y hidrógeno verde de México como socio en la Ciudad de México. Se logran un acuerdo para formar la joint venture H2V2 México, en la cual tengo el honor de dirigir. Es una sociedad participada al 50% entre ambas empresas, sociedad constituida en el año 2022 y iniciando operaciones este año. Nos encontramos con oficinas en la Ciudad de México. Nuestro objetivo, o digamos que nuestro objetivo principal es ser fabricante, líder de equipos, desarrollo de proyectos, proveedor de soluciones CPC, proveedor de operación y mantenimiento, y todo esto para producir hidrógeno verde de acuerdo a las necesidades de nuestros clientes. H2B2 es una plataforma integral global de hidrógeno verde donde ofrecemos soluciones personalizadas y hacemos trajes a la medida de nuestros clientes. Nuestros principales campos de actividad se encuentran en el uso del propio hidrógeno como combustible o como materia prima para algunos procesos industriales. En el transporte hacemos almacenamiento y venta de hidrógeno verde para movilidad también. Todo esto lo basamos en la tecnología de nuestro socio tecnólogo H2B2 y su exitosa trayectoria en la ejecución de proyectos a gran escala. Todo esto parte de esta experiencia no sería posible gracias a que entramos al programa de Ayúdame, un coaching plan, el cual empezamos a trabajar en el mes de febrero, aproximadamente febrero-marzo. Una asistencia técnica que nos ha dado LCBA, donde se tuvieron dos objetivos básicos. El primero fue un Doing Business en México, que incluyó temas regulatorios y tributarios, dirigido por Ana Salazadato, a quien hay que agradecerle su participación. Y el segundo horizonte, que fue asesoría en operaciones y logística, donde recibimos el apoyo de Constanza Suárez, quienes nos hicieron un análisis de riesgos y oportunidades y nos entregaron un modelo de cálculo y reporte final que nos ha permitido obtener los costos, sobre todo de importación y manejo de nuestros equipos para poderlos importar a México. Nuestro líder, H2B2, o nuestro socio tecnólogo, tiene presencia en diferentes partes del mundo. Hemos logrado 19 megawatts contratados a nivel mundial. Nos encontramos presentes en Estados Unidos, Sudamérica, España, Noruega, Alemania, en la India inclusive, donde tenemos ya, se está terminando de montar una fábrica para la producción de equipos. Nuestros principales proyectos se encuentran, digamos que nuestro proyecto estrella es la planta de Sojical, que se encuentra instalada en Fresno, California, la cual en su primera etapa está produciendo 3 megawatts de hidrógeno para movilidad. Se encuentra concluida, esta planta funciona a través de un generador que quema biodiesel obtenido de un rancho ganadero que se encuentra en los alrededores de la planta y posteriormente a tomar energía de un campo solar que está en proceso de construcción. El objetivo de esta planta o el objetivo final de esta planta son 9 megawatts de producción. Otro de nuestros proyectos de insignia es suministro de gas para movilidad con un electrolizador de 30 nanómetros cúbicos que se encuentra instalado en Bogotá, Colombia. El siguiente es otro equipo más pequeño que se encuentra en Cartagena, también dando ya alimentación a vehículos que trabajan con pilas de hidrógeno. Y por último, tenemos otros proyectos como es este que se encuentra instalado en Toledo, que es para una empresa logística para alimentar sus baterías, sus montacargas. Y el siguiente es un proyecto que está en construcción, que es para dar alimentación a las carretillas en el puerto de Vigo. Pues agradezco mucho la distinción, el reconocimiento y estamos a sus órdenes en la Ciudad de México para atender sus proyectos de hidrógeno. Gracias a todos.
Muchísimas gracias, Julián. Igual, si quieren contactarlos, nosotros podemos manejar esto. Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much. Your final thoughts.
Oh, thanks to you, and very interesting to know more about these two bright projects, and I hope that they will serve as models for others, as inspirations, so that at the end of the action we can really have very concrete results of partnerships like these, advancing our common goals of preserving the planet. And so the best of luck for all of you, and we will be very much following up on your progress in the next few months.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. And well, just to finalize, we are going directly to the feedback. Please give us your feedback just to improve anything that is needed. And as the ambassador said, well, both projects are the result of a lot of effort, and we are here to support you in your projects. Por favor, si tienen un proyecto, si tienen mayor interés, no duden en contactarnos. Estamos todos los días de la semana disponibles para atenderlos. Thank you so much for all the panelists. It was a great session. And well, congratulations to both companies, Napter H2B2 and the Mexican companies Linde and H2B2 with the other big. Thank you so much, Julian. Thank you so much, team.
Gracias.
Raúl, Bastian, all of you. Thank you so much, Doctora Tatiana Romero. Thank you and see you soon. Thanks.
Gracias.
Thank you,
Gracias.
everyone. Muchas gracias.
Everyone.